Hi, I'm Dana, and I recently posted a TikTok talking about how I find it really difficult that I have to put myself into social situations to improve and practice my social skills and to be able to get better at socializing and be able to just generally speak to people easier and find it easier to do that. But in order to do that, I have to put myself into social situations before I've developed those skills, and it's horrible. I so consistently embarrass myself and just cringe at myself and just absolutely despise that I've put myself into these situations that I am not enjoying and that I don't feel comfortable in. And I hate it. I really, really deeply fucking hate it. But I'm also very, very aware that I have to keep doing it in order to improve and get better at it. And I made a little TikTok about that. That's not what this video is about. And I got kind of annoyed because a lot of the comments were like, oh, well, just go to like clubs and stuff based on your hobbies, and then you'll meet people that like the things you do and you can just speak to them. And like, first of all, I'm not going to walk into a room full of people and just go up and introduce myself to people. I physically cannot bring myself to do that. I will throw up on them and have a meltdown. Like, good for you if you can do that. I cannot. And secondly, as someone who doesn't have the social skills and never had the chance to learn the social skills at the same time as everyone else, you know, like I feel like teenagers were going out and developing those skills and I don't have the skills that teenagers are developing. I don't have those skills because as an autistic person, it's really fucking hard and I really struggle to like do the social things. So I've spent pretty much my entire life coming up with ways to fill my time and hobbies that I can have to myself and ways that I can find joy in my life that I don't have to involve other people in. So my hobbies aren't things that I will find clubs for, you know? And I mean, some of them are, but it's still the case of like, it's a massive barrier to be able to go to clubs and still like actually introduce myself to people, actually speak to people, actually be a part of things and not just be stood on the sidelines feeling way worse than if I just haven't shown up. So for me personally, I engage in a lot of media, and it's not the most niche media in the world, you know, like I really love Doctor Who. It's not most autistic people love Doctor Who, most people have heard of Doctor Who, and obviously like my main thing, the only thing that I love more than Doctor Who is Ashes to Ashes. But that's the thing is like, okay, so you like watching movies and TV shows, go to a film club. I've tried that, I've been to film clubs, and I don't know if it's just that I find the wrong places, I don't know if it's just that I attract assholes, but there've been groups filled with men that really like Pulp Fiction and Fight Club, you know? Like, it's not the media that I enjoy, and sure, we all enjoy watching things, but we enjoy watching vastly different things. I don't feel like I have anything to say to people to talk about. And even when I've gone out of my way to try and sort of like join fandoms and to be a part of things like that, and like gone to Comic-Cons and spoken to people that are like cosplaying as the fandoms I'm a part of, I still find that really difficult because it's just a case of like, yeah, I absolutely adore this character, I don't have that much to say about it, you know? Like, I don't want to go into my Ashes to Ashes theories with someone just because we're both Ashes to Ashes fans. We probably register things very differently. And I'm also not someone that has the best memory of things, you know? Like, I'm a very like feel and vibe based sort of like interest person. So even finding people with similar interests, I still often find it very difficult to actually engage and speak to them and socialise and like be a part of the group. And as with like, I think most people, obviously my hobbies sort of like build on each other. So because I'm really, really into movies and TV shows and engaging in media in that way, I really like going to filming locations and it excites me massively. It's one of the ways that my special interest like brings me so much joy, and in the moment I don't even really think about the fact of like, oh, this is a way to engage in my special interest and it's a way to like have a hobby and to like make my life surround it a little bit. I don't think about it in the moment. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm in the place where Sam Tyler got hit by a car. On Monday, Winter took me to London and we got to go to the street where they have Fenchurch East, like the CID on one side and Luigi's and Alex's flat on the other, and I am going to insert pictures because it was one of the coolest moments of my life. And when I was like 14, I went to Cardiff and got to go on like the little Doctor Who tour and go to lots of places from Doctor Who, and that, oh, if I had money I would be travelling the world doing that shit, just going to places where they film things I enjoy. It's so cool, it's fantastic, it's the best. Like when I was in LA, we drove past where they filmed Community, where they filmed Greendale, and that was insane. And we went past the bridge at one point where Biff crashes the car in Back to the Future, and like things like that I adore. Being able to be in an area where it's like my special interest happened here, like this is the one place in the world where my special interest is alive and real. And like I sat on the steps to Fenchurch East, I was sat right in front of where Alex went to first off in front of a car when she first got to the 80s, you know, like it's insane to me. I don't want anyone around me really to do that, you know? Like everywhere I've gone that's somewhere like that, I've gone with other people, like friends and family that aren't even into the show, and I wouldn't want to do it with people that are into the show, you know? I don't talk about it because it feels kind of gatekeepy and rude and mean, and like it's my interest and no one else gets to have it. But it's not like that. It's just the way that I engage in it is such an individual way that the hobbies that then like come out from it, I don't want other people to be a part of it. I don't want other people to engage in it with me. Like, I've very intentionally found hobbies that I like to engage in on my own. And it's even with things like I don't have a desk currently. I'm not set up to like feel like I can do an artistic project in my current home, and as such my paper puppet tusk has been, the words didn't work then, puppet tusk has been put on the back burner, and I'm very much seeing what I've already done as like the prototype, and I'm going to do much better when I get back into it. But even something like that is very much like I'm getting to build, like, I've always liked making things out of paper and doing little artsy things. Like, I guess being creative is also a hobby of mine, but again, like, I'm only inspired and passionate and like want to do something and motivated to do something when it's the offshoot of like, I fucking love Tusk, I adore this movie. Getting to like make it in my own little way and do it in my own words to make my friend watch it is like, it fits perfectly. It fills me with joy, it makes me so happy. I don't want anyone else touching it. It's my thing. I know how it's meant to look and how it's meant to sound, and like I have it. And obviously it's a little bit different because it is like a creative project, but like I'm no sort of professional when it comes to it, you know. It is very much a hobby still, and I've found things specifically that I don't need other people to engage in, and I don't want them to, you know. And obviously I'm very fucking aware that's not going to help me build any social skills, and that's not going to help me meet anybody, and like so on and so forth. And I could really do with meeting some more people, because I have like 3 people in my life, you know. Like, having more people and being able to socialise more and go out more and have more people to invite to do like the different things I want to do would be nice. But everything that I want to do is something I can and I'm very happy to do on my own. And often when I've done it with other people, I don't like it as much. And there are hobbies that I can't engage in on my own, that I've tried to engage in with other people that just haven't worked out. So for example, like, I've always had like quite a strong interest in music. I really love music. I write lyrics all the time. And it's one of those things where like, I don't know how writing songs and writing lyrics and stuff works for other people, because I've never had it work well. But when I went to like a little summer school thing for music ages ago, and I was like, I have all these lyrics, no one was all that impressed. And when I was like, no, but I can hear how they're meant to sound, like, it's like, yeah, I just have the lyrics, but I can sing them to you, and I know how the melody should go, and I know what musical instrument should be in the background and everything. Like, I can't do it because I'm not a musician, but I can write it and I know how it should sound. And people were suddenly a lot more impressed by that. And I very much like had, throughout most of my teen years, I thought that was like my calling in life, and I was going to be a songwriter come musician. So I tried to put all sorts of bands together. I tried reaching out to producers, like, and this is over many years, you know, like, and you know, it's not that hard to put a band together. It's not that hard to be like, hi guys, I've got this song, it sounds like this. So I managed that, and I've been kicked out of a lot of bands. I've had a lot of bands that just didn't, you know, like, we do 3 meetups and rehearsals and then it just sort of peters out and no one has the time anymore and things like that. So it's very much been a case of when I have tried to engage in hobbies where I need other people, it's just been a letdown, it's just been a disappointment, and the other people haven't engaged in it nearly as like passionately or strongly or with like the same level of motivation as I have. And it's the type of thing where I'm like, that's fair enough, you're not that into it, but I need to find the people that are, and I can't. And similarly, I've made friends with people, like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life essentially, but I know I want it to be something, I probably need it to be something creative. I'm not like an academically talented person, I'm not a particularly skilled person. I can be creative, I can have good creative ideas. So I've tried, like, I'm very aware that like networking has to happen, so I've tried to make friends with people that have like done film courses and done this type of course. And it's the type of thing where it's like, as much as they might be really talented and really interesting and really creative themselves and have really good ideas, they're also in the position of trying to network and meet people so they can get something done. And thus none of us get anything done, you know? Like, I very rarely go on Facebook, but I have like probably dozens of people that are like actors and directors and producers and all these types of things, because especially when I was working at a video shop, I would just add people on Facebook and be like, yeah, we should totally do something together, and just nothing comes of it. And it's disappointing and kind of embarrassing to be constantly reaching out to people and be constantly putting out ideas. And I think that's one of the really tough things for me. It takes a lot of fucking like motivation and building up my courage and getting my shit together to be able to actually like put ideas out there to anybody for me, and to then have people not react to them. Like, yeah, sure, maybe it is just that they're busy or it's not for them or whatever else. Like, it's fine, I'm not mad at the individual, but it does suck on like a personal, emotional level when you're putting ideas out there and they just never stick anywhere and no one seems that interested in them, and it just consistently feels like something that I'm passionate about and excited about and whatever just isn't actually all that good. And maybe that is the case, you know, fair enough, like, so be it, but it still kind of sucks. And in the comments for the TikTok as well, someone specifically suggested knitting or crochet groups, and I've been to them. I've been to several of them, and I'm so often met with the thing when I go to groups and clubs for any type of hobby, even if it's one that I enjoy, one that I want to go into, whatever it is, where I'm sat there and I'm chatting back and forth a little bit, and it's fine, you know, like, it's fine. I'm never going to build a deeper connection with any of the people there, and it's not because there's anything wrong with them. We just don't have a connection. We're just not similar people, you know? And sure, I can show up week after week and have 2 hours sat there feeling vaguely uncomfortable and making small talk. Why? I'm not enjoying it. It's not helping me. It's not fun. I'm not building friendships. I'm not building connections. It feels like going to school again, honestly. I just go to a place and I have to sit there for a few hours and deal with it and be nice to people, you know? And it's not that I don't want to be nice to them. It's just I'd much rather not be engaging with them at all, because there's nothing there, there's no connection. It just feels a bit awkward and small talky, and I don't enjoy it. And I get the whole thing of like, oh, you just have to keep trying, but I think I know that I also face the issue on mine of people think I'm a lot younger than I am. People seem to think I'm like somewhere between like 18 and 22. I'm 27 years old, okay? I've had like a decade of living as an adult and trying to meet people and going to clubs and groups and this and that, and just not having it work, you know? It's very rare that I've had like a horrible thing happen to me anywhere. It's very rare that I've gone and like someone's been mean or cruel, or I've really not gotten on with someone. It's just that I've not really gotten on with any of them either, you know? And even going to like queer groups and queer clubs, which is like where I've probably felt the most like I fit in across my life, it's still very, you know, like, we're just here because we're gay, you know? Like, so often I don't actually have anything in common with them, and sure, we probably have a more aligned sense of humour, we've probably been through some similar traumas, like, it is less small talk and more fun and easier to get on with people, but I still find it very hard to actually like build a friendship out of that and have people that I actually like see and know and so on, you know? Like, it's a really, really big struggle, and it's the type of thing where I have like the experience and empathy or whatever else to know that people are trying to help in these comments, people are trying to help with those types of suggestions. I just don't find them helpful, I'm sorry. Yeah, like, I very genuinely wish that I could just have someone comment a thing that would make it all easy and make it all, I'd just be like, oh my god, I never thought of that, that's the perfect thing. But the fact of the matter is, most of the time people suggest the first thing that comes to mind, and if it's the first thing that's come to your mind, I did it 10 years ago, you know? Like, why wouldn't I have thought of that? And it's one of those things where I'm probably gonna keep trying at various points across my life, but I also have to take like a year and a half off after I do, because it's so fucking cringy and embarrassing, and it completely destroys my self-esteem and my like any sort of confidence that I build around myself, because I go from like, hey, maybe I can do this, I do think I'm an interesting person, I can be quite funny, I can be creative, I can be this, I can be that, and then I go into these social situations and I'm like, oh my god, I'm the most boring, worthless, cringy, embarrassing piece of shit that I've ever fucking seen interact with anybody, you know? And it really, I'd love if it didn't, but it really sets me back and it really makes me spiral and it really puts me in a bad place. And I'm still filled with the hope of like, one day it'll go really well and it'll be well worth it and I'll be like, oh, thank god I did that. But it hasn't happened yet, and I'm not really holding out that much hope for it, and it's just generally a bit shit. So yeah, the like too long didn't read there is that I feel like my hobbies are mostly just offshoots of my special interests, and they're not really things that I can engage in with people, and there's not really all that many hobbies that I'm invested in or interested in or want to try that do involve people, which makes it very hard to meet people, and I don't like a lot of the people I meet. Like, I don't dislike them either, I just don't like them, you know, and that's what I'm looking for. But that's the end of today's video, that's that. So as always, if you wanted to like this video and subscribe, that'd be really cool. If you wanted to comment and add to the discussion, if you have any hobby suggestions, like, you guys probably know me better than people over on TikTok do and watch a lot more, you see a lot more of me than people on TikTok do, so if you guys have any suggestions, I feel like that they'll be a bit more within the context of what would actually be helpful to me. Like, I am very aware that a lot of the time on TikTok, it's just that they don't have the full context and people are trying to be nice and trying to be helpful. So I you know, I'm never gonna like comment back to anyone and be like, you're useless. But it also isn't actually helpful for me. But yeah, if you guys wanted to comment, I think it might be helpful. You can also follow me over on Patreon if you would like to. I upload content there early, and I've posted a little bit of writing in the past, and I have some recent writing that I've done that I might also post over there. I don't know. Like I said, I find it really hard to share ideas. If anyone's got any creative shit that you wanted to like team up on, maybe hit me up. I don't know. I know, like, basically, if you follow me somewhere that isn't YouTube, if you follow me on like Instagram or Twitter or wherever, I've had like a scroll through, I've seen what you're up to, and like a bunch of you are really creative and really cool and make really cool stuff, like be it music or photography or whatever else. If any of you want to like, if have anything you think we could get in on together, like I would really like to collaborate and know people a bit more. And ideally I would like to do it in person, but the internet is a vast and wide space that lots of things can happen on. It would be nice to do more on here, considering I am chronically online. Yeah, but you can also follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. I post quite regularly on TikTok and less so on Instagram, but I've just posted my Ashes to Ashes filming location pictures and I'm really happy with them, so if you want to look at those, that'd be cool. But I am going to go now, so whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and we will see you again in a couple of days.